Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Warbands! In this video we are playing Warhammer 40k in a 500 point match which pits the Orcs against the Tyranids. I'm Simone and I will be playing the Orcs.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I will be playing the Tyranids. Before we start, if you are subscribed to the channel, welcome back. If you are not subscribed yet and want to help us, join our growing community now by clicking on the subscribe button. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys!
We'd also like to remind you that this month's 40k battle report, exclusive to Patreon members, will be online in a couple of days. If you want to enjoy another battle rep, the Patreon link is in the description. But now, let's get back to the game. Today's mission is Encircle. The two armies have to deploy within these two areas. There are 4 objectives and they are arranged in this way. As secondary objectives, Orcs have chosen the biggest and the best, Attrition and Domination, while the Tyranids have Slay the Warlord, Attrition and Domination. Both armies start with 3 command points.
Let's move on to the description of the armies. While wandering in search of food, the Tyranids came across a camp full of tasty Orcs. But as they were preparing to attack them, the Orcs charged the Tyranids and the fight began. My Tyranids are part of the Hades Hive fleet, which I created for this battle. In this game, my monsters have the ability Objective Secure, and enemy units cannot fire Overwatch when any of my units declare a charge. The leader is a Hive Tyrant equipped with Stranglethorn Cannon, Monstrous Bone Sword and Lash Whip. He knows 2 psychic powers from the Hive Mind discipline in addition to Smite that he knows as a base power. For this game, I chose Paroxysm and Psychic Scream. As a general trait, I chose Heightened Senses, giving the Tyrant the ability to start first every fight and reroll all the hit rolls. As a relic, I chose the Mokros of Tyrax, which gives an additional attack to the bearer, the possibility to reroll the wound rolls, and adds an additional attack for every unit eliminated in melee. Next we have the Moloch, a big boy who likes to eat things and has an impressive number of attacks. He's perfect to eliminate low armor save units. As a base unit I have Tyranid Warriors. One is equipped with Danon Cannon and the other 2 with Death Splitter. As melee weapon, all 3 have Rending Claws. Last but not least, we have the Parasite of Mortrex. Like the Moloch, he's perfect for eliminating the infantries and holding objectives.
A detachment of Orcs has found itself under attack by strange red creatures, eager to taste their delicate green skin. No one can afford to attack an Orc camp. It's the Orcs who attack, even when they are in their own camp. This army belongs to the Snake Bites, and the general is a beast boss. He's armed with Big Snaga Claw and Shoota. His general trait is Half Shoot, which allows him to ignore wounds on a 4+ if in combat against monsters or characters. Then, as a relic, I gave him the Super Cyborg Body, which halves the damage characteristic of every attack made on him, and gives the bearer a 4+ invulnerable save. As a troop, I chose the Big Snagaboids, and deployed them in a unit of 15 models. I also chose a unit of 10 normal boids. One of them has a rocket launcher, while the boss knob is armed with 2 Killsaws. Then there are the Squigog Boys, 3 Orcs on Squigs and their loyal Bomb Squig. Can't wait to use this little guy. And finally, I also chose the Nobos Mesha Squig, to help the Squigogs with some extra cavalry.
For this match, I decided to deploy the Moloch underground, thanks to the ability Death from Below. I will use him to avoid being charged in the first turn. Then, I placed the Warriors and the Parasite of Mortrex behind the Smoke Cloud near Objective 4, and the Tyrant behind the 10 near Objective 2.
I'd like to say that I deployed my units strategically, but as you can see, the Orc Horde pretty much covers my entire deployment zone. I don't have enough room to be tactical, so I've decided to place the cavalry on the left flank and the infantry in the center. Easy peasy.
Rolling for initiative, red dice for Tyranids and green dice for Orcs.
Oh no, that's a 1. Wait, does that count as 5?
I'm afraid not. The initiative is mine. Since I have the first turn, I cannot afford to get closer to the Orcs and risk an early charge. I need to take advantage of my ranged weapons as much as possible to reduce the numbers of the enemy units. That said, thanks to the Moloch's ability Terror from the Deep, in my command phase I can place a Terror from the Deep marker anywhere in the map. In the next turn, every unit within 6 inches from it will suffer mortal wounds. I place the marker here to block the passage. Then, in the movement phase, my Tyrant gets closer to the Objective 2, and the Warriors move a little bit closer to the Objective 4. In the Psychic phase, the Hive Tyrant tries to manifest 2 powers. The first one is Paroxysm on the Snagas at 7+. 8! Until my next Psychic phase, they have a -1 to wound. Then the Tyrant tries to cast Smite on the same target.
Wait, I use a command point for Mystic Chanting, which allows me to block a Psychic power.
Okay, the Smite has a warp charge of 5, so I need 5+ to succeed. 6!
Rolling to block it. 7! Blocked!
The Tyrant starts the shooting phase aiming at the Squiggox with his Strangletor Cannon and makes D3 shots plus 3. Rolling the D3. 1 shot. 4 shots at 2+. All hit. With Strength 8 and Toughness 6, I wound with 3. Wow. Nice roll.
6 to defend. Off to a good start. 2. He suffered 2 wounds, but the Squigog is still alive with 1 wound.
Next we have the Warriors. They shoot at the Boys, starting with the 6 that splitter shots at 3+. Only to hit. Because of the Snake Bite's ability, every attack with Strength 7 or less wounds with 4+. So 2 shots at 4+. Both wounded.
With -2 penetration, I can't save. 2 dead orcs.
Now the Venom Cannon with D3 shots. 2 shots at 3+. Just 1. With Strength 8, I wound with 3+. 2.
All I have to do is remove the first 2 deaths. In the morale phase, the Boys are the only ones who need to take the test, and with 2 deaths and leadership 7, they need 5 to pass. No problem, they are brave orcs. At the start of the turn, the war boss pounds his chest with mighty fists, arches his back, and lets out a mighty war cry declaring a WOG. My units now have a 5+ invulnerable save, additional strength and attacks, and best of all, they can charge even if they have advanced. The orcs begin the march, the Boys advance and roll a 1. Quick these Boys. With a movement of 6, they can reach the place in the middle of the tents. The Biznaga also advance, and they roll a 4, much better. Andrea has placed the Tyrant and the Moloch exactly in the center. To avoid attracting their attention and being eaten, the Snaga moves on the right side. I have no intention of slaughtering my cavalry too soon, so the Squiggox and the Nobles Mesha Squig position themselves alongside the objective and out of sight of the Tyrant. Charge! The Orcs' favorite phase. The only ones able to charge are the Boys, and they will try to catch up with the Tyranid Warriors. I know it's a long shot, but I have nothing else to do. They need 11. And that's an 11! Done on the first dice roll! Cool! The Boys close the gap that separates them from the big bugs, ready for a good fight. Let's get started right away! The Orcs try to position themselves better with the pile-in. First to attack are the regular Boys, with a whopping 24 attacks divided into 2 groups. 3+ to hit. First group? 9, not bad. Second group? 11, even better. With strength 5 and toughness 5, 4+ to wound. 10 wounds.
-1 penetration, so saving with 5+. Okay, 4 saved.
Now the boss. 5 attacks at 4+ with Killsos. 3 hit, okay. With strength 12, I'm not kidding, 12, he wounds at 2+. Easy.
Too much penetration, so I can't save it, meaning that the entire warrior unit is evaporated from the battlefield. Losing the warriors in the first turn when they did absolutely nothing in the game was tough. The orcs are extremely dangerous in combat. I need to be more careful now that I only have 3 units left. At the moment, I only control 1 objective, but it's just the first turn. I can still win.
That charge was spectacular! I made 11 with the dice. I declared it just to try, I wasn't really counting on it. Instead, it resulted in the entire unit of Tyranid warriors being destroyed. I think this was the most epic action ever taken by my Boys. With this elimination, the Boys score 4 victory points for attrition. Congratulations, you are the hottest Boys around.
In the second turn, I gained 5 victory points since I control only 1 objective. In the movement phase, the Tyrant moves closer to the smoke cloud and the Parasite of Mortrex flies a little bit above the Boys just to warm up. Then I spend 1 command point for the stratagem Enfolding Strike. I need to roll a d6 and on a 2+, the Boys suffer d3 mortal wounds and are infected with parasites. Rolling the dice, 5! d3 mortal wounds, 2 wounds.
2 orcs have been taken out by the parasite. He's just jealous of you.
At the end of the movement phase, the Moloch enters the battlefield near the Tyrant at more than 9 inches from the enemy units. The Tyrant tries to manifest Smite on the enemy leader at 5+. 8!
I use Mystic Chanting again to block the Psychic power. Rolling to block? Oh no, I failed.
d3 wounds. Just 1. So sad.
Just a wound? My war boss is in perfect shape.
The second power is again Paroxysm. But this time, the target is the Noble Smash a Squeak. 7 plus to succeed. 10! Perfect! The Tyrant is the only one who can shoot, and he aims the Stanga unit. Since they are 15, and the Tyrant's weapon has the rule Blast, I can roll the maximum dice possible, 6 dice at 2+. They're only 1 thanks to the general trait, All Hit! With Strength 8, I need 3+ to wound. 4 wound!
5+ invulnerability? Oh, okay, not even 1. 4 Snaggas fall lifeless to the ground.
Charge phase. The Parasite of Mortrex is close enough to charge automatically. The Moloch instead, he needs 9 to enter combat with the Squeagox. 6 is not enough, so I reroll with a command point. 3. Even worse. The Parasite starts the combat phase attacking the Boids with his Barbed Ovipositor, making 1 attack at 2+. Hit! Wounding with 4+ because of the Snake Bite's ability. 1. Rerolling with a command point. 6. And since it wounded with success, it deals 1 additional mortal wound.
A dice to save at 5+. Obviously not.
Now, the 6 attacks of the Cloud Limbs at 2+. For hit, wounding with 4+. 2 wound.
Okay, 2 more to save at 5+. I finally saved one! Between these attacks and the one before, there are 5 deaths in total. What a slaughter of orcs! It's time for the Boids to take their revenge on the Parasite. Let's start with normal orcs. 8 attacks at 4+ due to the penalty provided by the Parasite. 4 hit, Strength 5 and Toughness 6, then 5+ to wound. 2 wounds.
Saving with 2 dice at 5+. Perfect!
Now it's up to the boss. 5 attacks at 4+. Only 2. With Strength 12, he wounds at 2+. Both. With Penetration -4, I deal the wounds directly. D3 wounds for each attack. 4 wounds total. Good job!
It was too close. 2 wounds left to the Parasite.
In the Emerald phase, both Orc infantry units must take the test. The first to take the test are the Snaggas. They need to make 3 or less. Okay, no problem. Now it's up to the Boids. They need to make 2 or less to pass it. Ah, sadly I failed. An Orc has escaped. Combat attrition test. For every 1 or 2, another Orc escapes. Another Orc is gone. That's 2 less Boids in the unit. At the start of the round, controlling 2 objectives and contesting 1 objective to the Tyranids, I gain 15 victory points, reaching 19. I have to check if the Parasite infection will kill the Boid's boss or not. I roll a d6. On a 3 or less, he's no longer infected but suffers d3 wounds. Great! He's not infected anymore. d3 mortal wounds suffered. Oh no, he died too.
Awesome! Since the Boid suffered 2 wounds, a Reaper Swarm model enters the battlefield.
The Squeagox are the first to move. Finally they can join the fight. With a little courage, they reach the vicinity of the Moloch. The Nob does the same thing as the Squeagox and moves forward. The Warboss moves forward, a full 5 inches. The Snaggas advance and make 6! Run, guys! With 11 inches of movement available, they manage to flank the lookout tower. Now the most important moment of the whole game has arrived, the Bomb Squig! The little one lunges at the Moloch, on a 3+, inflicts d3 mortal wounds. 5! You did it! d3 wounds? Yes! 3 mortal wounds to the Moloch! The Orcs on Squigs now also throw spears, 3 shots at 5+. Missed all. Nah. The Grots, 3 attacks at 5+. They too missed the shot, of course.
11 wounds left to the Moloch.
The Nob fires on the Moloch, 1 shot at 5+. Nope, next one. The Warboss this time on the Tyrant, 2 shots at 4+. The shooting phase, certainly the most efficient phase of the Orcs. The Squeagox charge the Moloch. They enter automatically, but I roll the dice to see if I can place the models right. At 3, that's enough. The Squigs approach the beast. The Nob Smash a Squig automatically charges the Moloch. With its ability Smash a Head, I can roll 5 dice, and for every 4+, it's a mortal wound inflicted by the Squig. Are you kidding? What dice roll is it? The Warboss wants to join the fight and tries to charge the Tyrant. He needs to roll a 9 to reach him. Double 2. You need some encouragement. Rerolling thanks to the rule of the Orcs? Double 1. You are a coward! I should have elected the boss of the boys to war boss. We start the fight with the Squeagogs attacking the Moloch, with a -1 to hit for the Snaga rule and a +1 to hit due to the Moloch Malus that 6 attacks at 3+. Only to hit, how sad. They wound at 4, 1 wound.
-2 penetration, so save him with 5+. Nope.
6 quick attacks at 3+. 3 successful. Thanks to the Snake Bites rule, which gives Squigs a +1 to wound, they wound at 4+. 1 wound.
Save him with 4+ this time. He's okay.
Grotz with 3 attacks at 3+. 2 hit, 6 to wound. I don't have much expectation for them. Indeed, none. Now the Nob attacks the Moloch, 5 attacks at 3+. 3 hit, with strength 8, he wounds at 3+. Oh boy, I use a command point to reroll a dice. Never mind. Only 1.
Save him with 4+. Nope. 2 more wounds.
His faithful smash a Squig with 2 attacks at 3+. Both, thank goodness. 5+ to wound. No wounds.
Poor Moloch. He's down to 7 wounds. Now it's the Moloch's turn to attack. He uses his ability Distensible Jaws. Each time he's selected to fight, he can select an enemy unit in engagement range and roll a d6. On a 2+, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Rolling the dice. 4! d3 mortal wounds incoming. Just 1 wound.
A Squeagog has been devoured. What a terrible end.
With his belly full, the Moloch can proceed with his attacks. He makes 16 attacks at 3+ on the Squeagogs. 10 hit. Strength 7, so I wound with 4+. Just 3 wounds.
5+ to defend. Ah, great defense. Really.
And the additional attack of his Toxin Spike at 3+ on the same target. 5. Wounding with 4. 5.
Invulnerability at 6. 5. Me too. But that's not good in my case. Another Squeagog was eliminated, and one was left with 1 wound. Not exactly promising. With 2 models eliminated, the remaining Squeagog must take the moral test. 4 or less to pass it. He's still in the fight! Great!
At the end of the round, since I have eliminated 1 unit and lost none, I gain 4 victory points thanks to attrition. Now that the boys are gone and the Moloch has almost eliminated the Squeagogs, I feel a lot better. But I can't afford to let my guard down. I only need 1 bad roll to lose the game.
If the first round was great, the second round was a disaster. I lost the boys, and of the Squeagogs there is only 1 left. Also, my war boss decided it wasn't the right time to fight, and that turned out to be a big problem. In the next round, I basically have to hope that I have enough models left on the battlefield to be able to do something. Let's hope so.
At the start of the turn, I gain 10 victory points for the control of objectives 2 and 4. Then I activate the Synaptic Imperative ability of the Hive Tyrant, Relentless Ferocity. It allows me to fall back and charge with all the units within 6 inches from a model with Synapse. Then the Tyrant goes closer to the war boss and the Moloch disengages, moving within 6 inches from the Tyrant. The Parasite of Mortrex advances, and with that one, goes through the Snaggas, and as he lands I spend 1 command point for the Stratagem and Folding Strike. Rolling a dice, on a 2+, the Snaggas suffer d3 mortal wounds and are infected with parasites. 3. Rolling the wounds. Just 1.
A Snaga boy lives.
The Tyrant tries again to smite the enemy leader.
I use a command point for my favorite stratagem that allows me to block up psychic power.
Need 5+ to succeed. 8.
Nope, the attempt failed.
Rolling the wounds. 3. Awesome.
My war boss is not doing very well. He only has 2 wounds left.
Now the paroxysm on this Snaga unit at 7+. 9. Good. The Tyrant sees too many Greenskin closing in, so he shoots the Snaggas, making 6 shots at 2+. Luckily he can reroll all the dice. All hit. Strength 8, so wound with 3+. 5 wounds.
Invulnerability at 6. Only 1 in 5. The flock here is thinning out.
The Moloch needs 3 to enter combat with the Squigs, and with 6, he reaches them easily. Since he's a monster, I spend 1 command point for the Stratagem Trampling Charge. I select the Noble Smash a Squig and roll a dice. On a 2+, he suffers d3 mortal wounds. Rolling the dice. 2. Perfect. d3 mortal wounds. 6.
The Nob suffers 3 wounds, so he only has 2 left.
The Tyrant charges automatically the enemy leader. Fighting phase. Let's start with the Moloch. He uses again his ability Distensible Jaws on the Nob at 2+. Hit! Did 3 mortal wounds? Just 1. Since the Nob is still alive, I split the Moloch's attacks, 8 on the Squigog and 8 plus the Toxin Spike on the Nob. Starting with the Toxin Spike on the Nob at 3+. 5. Winning with 4+. 5 again!
6 to save. This was the final blow. The Nob is down.
Since the Nob is already dead, the 8 shots I declared on him are lost. Rolling the other 8 attacks on the Squigog at 3+. 6 hit, winning with 4+. Just 2 hits.
I have to save again at 6. 1 is not enough, unfortunately. Both the Nob and the last Squigog are blown away. What a dreadful day for the Squig Riders.
And now the main fight, Tyrant vs Warboss. Starting with my leader, 6 attacks at 2+. Rerolling 2 thanks to the general trait. All hit. Strength 10, so wounding with 3+. Rerolling 3 thanks to this relic. All wound.
6 dice, I need 4+ thanks to invulnerability. 2 were not saved. The relic allows me to halve the damage taken from attacks, so I roll 4 dice at 4+ to ignore any wounds taken, thanks to the Warlord trait. It's not enough, my Warboss died too, and here ends the game, with the victory going to the Tyranids.
After the boys eliminated my warriors, I never imagined the game would end like this. The Moloch did an amazing job, and if Simone didn't charge me with the Snaggas and the Squigs in the first turn, it's all thanks to him. I'm really curious to see how they perform in the 10th edition.
After a fantastic start, the match took a wrong turn. I think it all came down to my leader's failed charge. It was really sad to witness the cowardice of an orc. I think the boys deserve all the attention, they performed at their best. I'd say they were the only ones doing anything in the whole game. Before finishing, we would like to take a moment to thank our members who have decided to support us on Patreon. And if you guys want to support the channel and enjoy an additional and exclusive battle report per month, or see your models showcased in our videos, the Patreon link is in the description. We are waiting for you on Discord.
And if you have come this far, write the word HOTBOYS in the comments to let us know. You are the best! And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, leave a like and write us in the comments. We are always curious to know what you think.
That's it, guys!
See you next video!